Okay, here's something that I need to document that I fall victim to quite often. This is a prime example. Now, there's two types of trading that is performed. One of them is continuation. The other is range bound, where it is trading around support and resistance, the range bound situation, because it'll either be in a range bound situation or it's trending. Okay. And so one of the idea is to trade in the range where, for instance, support is. Support is here. Support here is. But sometimes it'll fail. Okay? And so what happened in this trade is that I saw this moving towards the support area, and so I got in here. So it dipped a little bit, came back up, and then started to dip. And then here I sold for a loss with a substantial amount of size, an uncomfortable amount of size. So here, that's something that I need to be very careful about. And so when I'm making these trades, I need to identify a couple of things. Okay, I need to be aware of a couple of things. Okay, so if I'm trading this type of a situation, which I've experienced lots of losses, it is, first of all, it doesn't have backtesting, which means that the trading that I'm attempting to make has a flaw. It has a flaw. It doesn't have a proven backtesting data to support the idea, and that's why it is flawed. Okay. So I have to figure out what to do. Okay. So if I look at this situation, this is a big candle right there, right? So that would be too late if I were to get in on that candle. But if I were to get in on this red candle, I don't know. There's no certainty of I don't know whether it's going to keep continuing or it's going to reverse based on the support. Okay, so the support is here. All right, so then I would most likely miss it then, right? It would come down here, it's very strong, and hit the support area and bounced off, went up a little bit, came back, and then started to bounce a little bit. So that means that there's a couple things that are an issue here. The first flaw is I do not have a backtest data that is telling me that I should be trading it in a certain manner for this type of situation. Which means whenever I take a trade, I'm making a trade based on half information. Not even half information, an unproven information. Okay, that's why I'm losing money whenever I trade this right here, just like that. So I need to be aware of the situation, okay? Because I don't have the specific numbers that tells me, okay, at a certain time, a certain period, there's a certain percentage of time my trade will be correct and certain percentage of time it will be incorrect. And I have to take appropriate actions to mitigate a serious move against me, okay? So I have to be aware of that. So when I take this trade, is it 50-50 or is it 60-40 or is it 70-30 or right? And also, if it's 70-30, I need to make sure that I stop a big move against me, right? Which requires a stop loss. It's a requirement. If I'm going to be making this type of trade, obviously based on here, just lost. I mean, I just threw it away. Look at that. I just threw that away. I just threw it away. Okay. Why? I don't know. But yeah, because I don't know. That's the reason why. So this type of trading that I'm attempting to do is not the typical trade that I'm using, and I felt the urgency to use it in order to recover what I have lost, and that's the problem with this trade. Okay, So right here, because it can move against me. Here's another example. So here I was in here, and then I traded this, and then here I was doing the same thing here, okay? And then when I thought that it was going to trade around the support resistance area, the candle was very strong. It started to go down, and by the time I knew it, uh, essentially what I was doing is just losing a bunch right here. And then I covered it. And then when I covered it, essentially here, now a little bit later, it came back. Okay, that's the situation. So that applies to here too, right here, right here. Here it was good, it was trading around here, but the assumption I have about what does not hold water. That's the problem. That's the reason why I keep losing on this trade. Trying to make a trade that really haven't been proven out. And that's why it just gets worse. The tilt gets worse, right? Okay, so that's something that I need to launder out. What a waste. I essentially lost $200 just this evening. 2% right there. After having lost about 3%, I lost 2% here, just within the matter of an hour. In Asian market, very close to the daily max loss. Okay, so that's not gonna do. That won't do at all. All right. So what's the solution? Okay, the solution is this. Okay, so if I'm going to trade this, what is the difference between difference between this and that, right? So what is the difference? Clearly, I can see the difference is that had I waited until I saw some sort of a reversal candle, that's a better idea. So here is a clear indication of the candle just punching right through. And so if I didn't wait and entered here based on this support area, the thesis is incorrect. Okay, so the thinking is incorrect. But if I waited until I saw something on the other side, waited until this candle, then I would miss this. I would not be making this trade. Okay? So there's a couple things that are wrong with this. One, it's a very strong candle, and then it went through, which means that those two things should have given me a warning not to trade. Okay? Same here. So if I look at, so this is back testing. So I'm doing the back testing right now with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples, right? So if I look here, there's a clear reversal candle here. That means that the odds of me, there's a confluence of a support area and then another confluence of this candle here, right? So those two things are providing a higher probability that there's going to be it's going to be at least on this position bouncing between a trading range. Same thing is here. Same thing is happening to here. So if I can improve my odds of success by delaying my entry, waiting or missing, so that I can wait for this candle to confirm, get in here, and then ride it up, get partially. My thinking is that I'm just thinking in a one-dimensional manner. So if I think of it in terms of a three-dimensional manner, right? The first dimension is this area where the support is. That's one. Second is a clue on the other side that it says that is reversing, right? That's two. So the third part is what? What is the third part? I need to figure out what the third part is. What is the third part? What is the third part? First part is first part is essentially it's a structure. Okay, what is the structure? I'm identifying a structure. All right, I have to identify what the structure is. Structure is this range bound situation here. It's bouncing up and down. Now it's coming back up. So what is the structure here? Structure here is climbing up, and then structure here is just essentially a parabolic move down, right? That's the structure here. And then this parabolic move down is altered at this point with this green candle. I wait a little bit more to make sure that it's not this part. It's essentially a pullback, but it's compounded by the validity of the reversal. So if I'm going to be trading this in the future, I would have to become far more familiar about all the things that are indicating to me that there is a reversal. So there's a lot more studying that I need to do. Okay. So the method I was using, I set it aside because I used it in an area that I should not have used. Okay. So there's essentially two types of trading. One of them is a trending trade. Okay. A trending trade based on moving from one area to another area in between range bound situation. Range bound situation essentially means it's going essentially sideways or skewed with an angle either slightly down or slightly up. Essentially, what that is a wide range bound situation. That's the range bound situation. Trending is also can have a wide area where it's toggling back and forth, but it's moving from one price level to another price level. But for the range bound situation, it is sitting in between two different price ranges, okay, which are acting as a support and resistance area. When something is trending, it can do the same thing, right? So trying to be honest here to myself, I have to be honest to myself about how to trade properly. And a few trades that I made are obviously half-baked, not even thought out. It really, wow, this last trade right there, that is something that, look at that. This two trade is like more than 1.1%. I essentially just gave it away. Essentially, that's what it means. Okay, but the brain doesn't register. It keeps doing it over and over again because it needs to do it. Okay, the brain keeps doing it because it needs to keep doing it. It doesn't think about what the outcome was and then take that information from the outcome and then process and change the direction of my thinking. It's not changing it. Okay, the data is not changing the direction of my thinking. I need to do that. Okay, data needs to direct the thinking. Data needs to drive the thinking, okay? And this right there is clearly saying no. And look at the results here today. I was down 3%. I kept trading, not trading, just gambling at this stage. And then here I am, just lost 2% within a matter of, what is that? Just back-to-back losses here. 52, 53. Wow. Huh. And this is the exact same reason that I have failed like hundreds and hundreds of platform challenges. Just doing this. Just doing what I just did right here is the primary reason I failed all these platform challenges, and I was still doing it after 5 years of doing this. all of a sudden, I don't know how. It seems like my brain was like brainwashed. I don't know what happened. It seems like my brain was brainwashed. It was brainwashed. I don't know what happened. Somehow my brain was in an area where it became washed and just completely reverted back since 3 days ago. Okay, 3 days ago, the thinking that I had, it just completely altered. Okay, so there was a mindset. The primary mindset of the strategy that I have is to conserve and trade small. But something in my mind just turned 3 days ago and started to bigger, risk bigger, and risk bigger, and not even pay attention to what the data is telling me. So those two factors caused a severe loss for the past 3 days. And now I'm here and I'm trying to analyze what happened. What happened this week? Okay, what happened? What happened this week? Okay? What was happening this week? What was different about this week? Okay? So essentially, I was trading this right there to the long side. I was trading this to the long side, which is totally wrong. Okay. Same with this. I was trading the long side to this. Look at that. You can't be trading this to the long side. Look at all that. Okay. So something happened to me. I'm not sure what happened to me. I'm still trying to figure out what happened. What happened that caused this? I was actually up. I was actually up 7.5% from here 3 days ago. 3 days ago. And something major altered my thinking. Wow. Okay, so now I'm like back to square one. All right. So it seems like my mindset has shifted into like trying to make as much as possible, which means that there's a huge risk that's being placed. And when that huge risk is placed, I'm making trades that are less probable. Okay, and I'm trying to trade when the probability is less. Okay, and when the sure when I'm right, the gains are there, but it's also limited by the amount that I'm extracting. Okay, so it's small. But when I'm losing, I'm attempting to hold it as long as possible. By that time, the move has become so significant that it essentially erases like up to like 10 trades that I made previously. Okay, that's essentially what a sawtooth curve is. That's what a novice trader does. All right, I thought I escaped from this type of trading, but it apparently not. I've reverted back to doing the same thing that I've been doing, which it's like I have no idea what happened, but I said this before many years ago, like after this catastrophic situation, like I've gone back to day one of trading. It's as though I have certain information that's sitting in my brain, but it seems like something has disconnected it. It's like unraveled it, and that that knowledge has just disappeared for somehow. So here I am, here in this situation on a Friday. It it took about 1 full month to reach 5.5%, and then it only took 3 days to erase it all. Okay, something 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 just something happened that caused me to be in this state here. This is what I used to do 5 years ago, and I'm still doing it today, which I wasn't doing last week. What changed? What changed? What changed? What change is causing this? What? Right. So, what changed? What changed to cause this to happen? First of all, I should not have made that trade, but I did. Why did I make that trade? Why wasn't there a thought in my mind that was prohibiting me from making that trade? Why? Why did I not control myself and say, hey, don't make that trade? Why did I not say that? Why did I not do that? All right. Okay. So now I got some work to do. So essentially, what I have to do is make 10% instead of making 8%. Now I have to make 10% in order to, if I can survive this week. It's already Friday. What? No, not Friday. It's Thursday at 10:30, and the trading day hasn't even begun, and I've just cornered myself out of being able to trade right now. So, wow. This is. So I've seen a few YouTube videos of other people being in this situation. It's like a. I can't put words to what the situation is, but it's happening. Um, it's totally unraveling. Something has something just brainwashed the way that I was trading into taking more risks and making half-baked trading ideas. Okay, it had severed my thinking that is regulating the type of trading that I should be doing. So that's something that I need to make a note of. And if I keep doing this, um, the results are essentially known already what's going to happen. If I keep on going on this path, I know what the end result is going to be. Okay, and this is only after the fact. Look at that. Just red. And this, why did I make that trade? Why? And with such a big size, why? Why? Yeah, okay. So this is a mystery that maybe one day I'll figure out, but this is... Okay, so I just wasted a whole month and dug myself deeper into the hole. So essentially, I worked on this challenge for a month, and I got up to a profitable side. And then within a matter of 3 days, I just erased all the gains, and then today, just dug myself into a deeper hole. Why I did that? I have no idea.